What's up guys, Chris here again, and today we have an unboxing video. Today it's from AirsoftGlobal, and I've already taken a peek inside. I got this a couple of days ago, so didn't want to wait. But let's just dump everything out and go through what's inside. Jesus, that's a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead with the most uninteresting thing here. I got myself a set of 30 pieces of steel targets. I have a couple of these that were in yellow, pretty much the same design, but AirsoftGlobal had a 30 pack for a decent price, so I went ahead and got these. You know, when you're out somewhere and you want to plink, sometimes 5 targets is a little bit not enough, so this could be fun. You know, they fall over and they make a nice pinging sound when you hit them, so that's the first item. Second thing we got is another Garter Glock 19 magazine from my Glock project. Nothing special. So I'm gonna do a comparison video of this magazine, the Garter one, the Stark Arms Glock 19 magazine, and the WE Glock 19 magazine, because the funny thing is that the Garter Glock 19 magazines look pretty much identical to the Stark Arms ones, even, you know, down to the seam lines that you have here, and also the base plate, and I found some markings on the internal parts. So it seems like Garter maybe borrowed Stark Arms mold. What I found is that the finish on the Garter magazines look a little bit better, so I'm gonna put up a video of that sometime later. So that's that. Basically what we have, the rest of these items are just a bunch of Glock 19 parts, or I guess Glock parts in general. Let's see if we can lay them out. So first up, I'm going to talk about these magazine base plates that I got. These are the Garter magazine base plates that were recently released, and I thought that they were to sort of accompany these new magazines that Garter put out, but it turns out these are too tight of a fit on the Garter magazines. So it turns out, let me just take a look here with one of them, that these base plates are for the Tokyo Marui spec magazine. So this is the stock WE magazine for the Glock 19 that I got, and yeah, it goes on there a lot better than excuse me, than on the Garter magazine. Basically I had to, you know, hammer or, you know, force those plates on. Oh crap. Well, I guess that's stuck on there. I can't get to the locking mechanism, but whatever. So those fit the Tokyo Marui or WE Glock magazines. They do not fit the Garter magazines. However, considering that this is Stark Arms spec, it does take real Glock base plates, so I'm gonna have to get that for these magazines. So I got 4 of the normal base plates, and then I got one of the +2 base plates just for looks. I'm not really a big fan of those, but the reason why I got these is you can see the difference here. That's the Glock sheen that I'm always talking about. You can see that the original one here is completely flat, and it has the part number stamped into it. The real Glock plates don't have that anymore. And the other advantage of using the Garter plate is that it has two locking tabs, or locking cutouts here, so that when you push it off the magazine to fill gas, it actually locks onto this last notch here, so it doesn't come completely off when you try to fill gas. So that would be an advantage if these actually fit, which they don't. So if you got the the Guardar Glock 19 magazines, don't bother getting these base plates. However, I do feel that these are superior to the shooter's design base plates, which have been the predominant product on the market so far. So yeah, those are going up for sale on a local forum. A bit of a dud. Let's see, what else do we have? I got the UAC match grade stainless steel trigger lever for the Marui Glock 17. Unfortunately, that one is not compatible with the WE, at least the Glock 19 that I have. I'll show you real quick here. If you look at this part, that's supposed to engage the sear and the hammer mechanism. It's a completely different shape from the original. So I tried to install this, and you know, there's just no physical way that that's going to work. I have my Glock completely disassembled right now, but basically this is supposed to come in this notch down here. This little trigger bar piece is what engages the sear, and it can't get into that space and at the same time come up here that it needs to. So just a heads up, that doesn't work. So that's also going up for sale. Let's see if we can do these in particular order. So next up, I went ahead and got the Garter hammer mechanism steel parts for the Tokyo Marui Glock series. It says they're also compatible with the KJ Works. Now, I do believe that the sear and the valve knocker might actually work in the WE Glock. I haven't tested these out fully. The hammer looks completely different, excuse me, than the stock one. I was actually thinking about doing a separate video on this, but I might as well cover it here. I might make a separate video as well, but let's see if we can lay these out nicely. Nope, that's not right. If you take a look at these two pieces right here, well, I guess it's a little bit difficult to show, but basically they're pretty big difference between the two. And I tried to install the Garter hammer, and it doesn't actually engage in the hammer housing because there's extra material there. So my main question now is, do I want to put the steel parts in that fit even if I can't use the hammer? Because all of these parts, well, I guess not the valve knocker so much, but the other parts here interact with the hammer. So if the hammer is aluminum and you have steel parts surrounding it, you know, something's gonna give. So I'm not really sure what to do with this. Again, this is a Glock 23 that I have as a base pistol, so it might be that the internals in that are a little bit different from a Glock 19. So I'm gonna wait until I have a Glock 19 to try these out completely before I make any judgments. The steel knocker lock, the valve reset knocker is what I call this. It looks like it might fit, but the channel that it goes into right here was a little bit too narrow. So I'm thinking if you just file down a tiny bit of material here, it should be able to drop in. So, but again, if the hammer doesn't work, how you know, how well are the other parts going to fare if you install it? So that's a little bit of a question mark right there. I went ahead and sort of did people a favor by buying that just to verify if it works or not. I figured I'd be able to sell those off for pretty much zero loss anyway. So, all right, let's take a look at what we have next. Next up, we have a Garter Tokyo Marui Glock 18C loading nozzle, and I've already had this out, and it actually looks like it fits real nice in the Ace 1 Arms blowback unit. I got the accompanying nozzle valve set for the Garter nozzle as well. Also fits. We'll be taking a closer look at these in a separate video just to show you the differences and how these work, and I'll also try to install these parts and do some chronograph tests and so on. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Guardar's steel slide stops. I got the extended one here and the regular one here. I just wanted to have, surprisingly, the original, let's see, where do I have it? Right there. The original one is steel, and it looks pretty good, but I figured if I was going to get all of these Garter parts, then why not go for the slide lock as well. One thing, let's take this out. One thing that's a little bit strange with the Garter parts is the finish that they use. I think it says here, yeah, P-Process finish. If you compare these two, here's the original one. Let's see if we can get a bit of light on there. And here's the Garter one. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see, but the Garter one is kind of very dark gray and kind of dull, whereas the original is more true black and a little bit more glossy. And I think looking at pictures online of real Glocks, the original is actually pretty probably a better match to the real one. So let's put this back. So that's that, and the same thing regarding the finish goes for the Garter steel slide lock as well. It has the same type of finish. It's a very dark, dull gray. One thing I liked about this, I'm not sure if it's the specifications of the W frames, but let's see, this is completely disassembled now, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to demonstrate here, but if we'll be able to, no, I don't think we can get a shot of that. Basically, the finish on the original one has started to wear off. You can see right here, you see a little bit of bare aluminum, and it sits pretty well in the frame. You know, there's enough to grab onto. What this did, however, this is a standard slide lock, but it's sort of, when installed, feels like an extended slide lock because there's just a tiny bit more to grab onto, which I like. However, as mentioned, the finish is a little bit off, so not a big fan of that. Also, surprisingly, the stock W slide lock is aluminum, and the Garter one is steel. So what happens is when you have aluminum parts and steel parts interacting in a gun, you could end up with the steel eating out of the aluminum. So I think that the fit of the hop-up unit is tight enough to where that's not going to be a major problem. So I think I'll go ahead and install that one. Next up, we have a Garter enhanced spring set for the Tokyo Marui Glock series. This should hopefully be a drop-in fit, and to be honest, I got it just because it was available and it says enhanced. You know, who can resist buying that? And also, it's always a good idea to have a spare set of springs for pistols that you work on. You know, there are especially the knocker lock spring here has a tendency to be lost when you disassemble the pistol. So not a big deal, but I'll be installing this in my final build. Next up, we have a Guardar Extended Mag release for the Gen 3 Glock, which I don't have yet. I'm working on getting a Glock 19 Gen 3 with full markings, a WE Glock, that is. So the idea here being that I'll be able to have a Gen 4 frame and a Gen 3 frame that I'm going to do some stippling work on. So I'll be able to switch those out depending on what I feel like. We have an A+ hop-up rubber for the WE pistol. I've actually bought a couple of hop-up rubbers now just to... I want to try out the different ones, see which one works and whatnot, if you get FPS differences or different trajectories and so forth. So, no big deal. Now, this piece right here is a little bit interesting. This is a A+ technical knockout system upgrade kit for the WE Glock series. So if you can see here on the graphics behind on the packaging, you get the spring and the floating valve. There are two things to note here. Let's see if I can find the Garter parts. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but you can see that the spring is almost twice as long, and the actual rocket valve is aluminum in here, whereas it's plastic in here. Now the spring, although being twice the size, I've had it out and felt it, and it's a very weak spring. But what this should do is increase the overall FPS and also give you a more stable FPS. So I'm gonna try that out once I have the Garter nozzle installed and see what works and what kind of FPS I'm getting. So that's pretty much it for this unboxing. Let's try to lay everything out real nice here. Well, I guess that's not very nice, but you get an overview here of what I got. So yeah, that's the unboxing from eHobby Asia, and just like to say, I think I posted this on Facebook a couple of days ago, but Airsoft Global. This is Airsoft Global. Fuck eHobby Asia. But Airsoft Global are definitely my favorite retailer in Hong Kong. Really good people. They have a good store. Always ship things out real quick. Never had a problem. So that's it. Unboxing of Glock 19 parts from Airsoft Global. And I'll see you guys in the next video.